The final stretch of the first season of Tournament of Speed is now here after a quite a long break. We are now going to start with the C League. We will have all 6 events in one video though. So yeah, and we do have 8 marbles fighting to stay alive in this league. There are 3 on the top. They can move on to the B League, but they will not participate in the qualifiers. From the bottom 2, they are completely out of the league. They will have no chance to get back again for quite a while, maybe. And as we do have a bit of a look back at our first event, the slalom, it's been an event that has been highlighted quite a lot. But we're about to start with the 8 marbles that finish in the bottom 4 of their groups for qualifiers. So, since of course they weren't split into B and C leagues yet, we had to make some sort of thing for it, and this is how we measured their capabilities. We have Deep Snow, Aesthetic, Checkerboard, and Soulstorm for the first heat of 2. There won't be any advancing. Whoever just gets the faster time here will win. We already see Deep Snow get stuck in one of those pendulums. Meanwhile, Soulstorm also gets stuck, while Checkerboard fights with Aesthetic to get that first position with a 14.686 run. So right off the bat, those are 2 did not finishes, and that's not going to look good for the current state of our athletes, marble athletes though. So Neon, Midnight Sky, Chrysanthemum, and Tree Bark. Looks like Neon gets held up a bit, trying to fall behind, while Midnight Sky trying to get ahead of Chrysanthemum, who responds well, and Midnight Sky gets stuck in the penultimate pendulum and they fall down to last. Neon gets second and Tree Bark gets third, and it's definitely gonna be hard for Midnight Sky. As you see, you may not be well equipped for these events. You really gotta prepare. You need to assess properly your environment here. So meanwhile, yeah, those are the results. Chrysanthemum takes the gold. Checkerboard will get second. The 2 DNFs, they will be in the bottom of that order. And we see now the funnel endurance, just 1 heat of all the 8 marbles, of course. And it will be an interesting one, as of course the goal of this, stay on the course as long as you can. If you finish first, that means you're lost. So it's gonna be a decisive event. It's going to show you a lot of things on their capabilities, because of course you can't just have speed in these leagues. There's maybe quite a split, but there's still a lot of these endurance events and other skill sets. But meanwhile, we have all the marbles lined up and they go off the gate. Midnight Sky leads the pack, but will it work? It looks like they are though, while Checkerboard, Deep Snow, Tree Bark, and Soulstorm fall off first. And Midnight Sky does follow quite between, but they're not in the bottom, but they're starting to drop by. They're now in the 4th position. Oh, with a contact there. Meanwhile, Tree Bark and Chrysanthemum now in the bottom there. The Aesthetic now leading. Can they keep that lead there? Neon trying to make a move, trying to get Aesthetic with them, but it doesn't really work. They miss. Meanwhile, that's Chrysanthemum and Checkerboard fighting for, well, 7th place, not last. While 5 marbles still on that funnel above, and all of them start to go down now. Tree Bark starts to recover. They're now in 5th. Checkerboard and Deep Snow are now in the bottom funnel, along with Midnight Sky and Chrysanthemum. Who's gonna fall first? And it's gonna be Deep Snow, then Checkerboard, and Chrysanthemum. Tree Bark and Midnight Sky, oh, neck and neck. Tree Bark barely holds on. Meanwhile, Neon and Aesthetic fall through, and Soulstorm will win at the funnel endurance event. for the C League. And a lot of things here where, of course, you need to be consistent here. The gaps between those points definitely lower than usual, so it's merely a fight for consistency here. The half-pipe race, now the third event for this part of the league, C League. It's saying that over and over again, but yes, we're gonna have the same course, same thing, same premise, same exact format as last event. All of the 8 marbles will go through. And we are off. That's Midnight Sky leading the way. Chrysanthemum behind Neon is trying to fight for that position. Chrysanthemum straight through those pegs. Gets the lead in a pretty dominant one so far. Midnight Sky still holds on to second, however. Neon on third. Treebark and Checkerboard trying to get to Neon, who is trying to get to Midnight Sky. And the drop there, Neon gets pushed back, and Chrysanthemum maintains that lead through the chicane, maybe the curvature stuff, and it's neck and neck through the final part. That's Midnight Sky and Chrysanthemum. It's neck and neck. Treebark is also there, and Chrysanthemum takes the win, and Treebark will get second. Deep Snow once again behind. And I think that's 3 in a row for Deep Snow so far. 1 point. It's not going to be good. They need to lock in for the next 3 events if they want a chance to even survive here. But meanwhile, Midnight Sky falls to third. Checkerboard in fourth. Soulstorm in fifth. Aesthetic and Neon on sixth and seventh. And Deep Snow once again in eighth. Chrysanthemum wins the half-pipe race. And we just have a bit of a replay here while we're waiting for the next event, and I think the next event is balancing. So yes, we are back there. Each marble, of course, and before the run, and of course the place they landed, their score got added up, and the one with the biggest score will win. Deep Snow up first. And the gear left, definitely, but it's not too bad. It's not atrocious, but it's still mediocre. That's a 182 only. Meanwhile, Treebark is up next. Can they do anything better than Deep Snow? Start to be a bit more centralized, falling near the middle, and one will finish. 294. 51, 52, and 60, along with their finishing 130. Chrysanthemum is up next. And now a bit more centralized as well. Will this be 2 finishers? No, one of them falls near the end. And they barely beat out Treebark with a 299. Checkerboard. What can they do? Bit more centralized, but they fall. Oh. Didn't really work out, but it's a 201. Aesthetic, however, what can they do? As they go on to the beam. Oh, look at that. It's a bit central, but they're still veering the left. And they fall near the middle in the 70s. It's 264. Midnight Sky. Now, oh, that is not good. 3 early, and yep, that is last out of everyone. 1, 3, 4 only. What about Neon? Very low there. Oh, 2 of them fall near the 60s. Only a 180. That's last. But what can Soulstorm do here? Looking good so far. 2 fall near the middle, and 2 will finish, and that is surely a winning run there. That's a 340, and that'll be enough. Only person, only team to hit 340 there. Soulstorm takes another medal, and it's a gold once again. And we're going to be happy there. Chrysanthemum as well with another medal, as well as Treebark. And now we're in Wheel Descent, the penultimate event of this C League. And of course, just get to the bottom as soon as possible. As faster than the other people around you. And we go through this wheel with the spinner. And we get the premise. Deep Snow, Neon, Aesthetic, and Checkerboard. Neck and neck to the first one. Aesthetic and Checkerboard have the advantage, though Neon also trying to make a run for it. But they take the more inside instead of getting that free boost, and Aesthetic will snatch that win away. 16.6, barely below 16.7, and Neon misses out there just by a bit, but still a valiant run, I guess. 3 Viv will send hit to Midnight Sky, Chrysanthemum, Treebark, and Soulstorm. What can they do? Can they do better than the previous heat? And Soulstorm and Treebark immediately neck and neck. Both of them taking a similar path. Soulstorm trying to take advantage, but Treebark responds in the next wheel. Who's gonna get it? It's very neck and neck. It's gonna be Treebark. And definitely more neck and neck than the other heats. Chrysanthemum and Midnight Sky also had their battle there, definitely. And I think Treebark might have won that one, and they did with a 16-4. Aesthetic with a 16-6, Soulstorm with a 16-9, Chrysanthemum out of the podium with a 17.056, barely beating Neon. And Deep Snow in 7, Checkerboard in 8. The final event is Team Relay. And this will decide who will win. We haven't seen the scores yet, so it will be a complete surprise unless you're a brainiac that have computed all of it. So yeah, Midnight Sky, Soulstorm, Neon, and Treebark. Neon, Soulstorm falling behind Treebark, starting to get away with it. Midnight Sky trying to respond. Who will get the anchor leg? Soulstorm gets ahead of Midnight Sky, but Treebark keeps their lead. And Neon just behind the entire time. But still, they all have decent-ish runs. Heat number 2, Checkerboard, Chrysanthemum, Deep Snow, and Aesthetic. Checkerboard with that early lead. Aesthetic as well trying to. Chrysanthemum takes the lead through that first handoff. Aesthetic to the second. Who will get the anchor? Chrysanthemum, Deep Snow trying to respond as well. But it's going to be Aesthetic keeping that lead. Deep Snow barely gets third. Checkerboard with fourth. Chrysanthemum in second with a 14.03, Deep Snow 14.13, and Checkerboard 14.14. And that is it for Event 6. Treebark still remains the lead. Aesthetic gets second, and Soulstorm gets third. And that is immediately the overall standings. I know it's a bit abrupt, but we know it's going to be abrupt. Speed isn't the name, I guess. But Neon and Deep Snow, they are out of the lead. Paltry performance from Deep Snow, most especially 3 in a row last place, and the finish, highest finish is like, who knows, 3 points. Yeah, Neon, despite a medal, they don't make it well. Oh yeah, and the ones who advance to the B League, Treebark, Chrysanthemum, and Aesthetic. And it's definitely gonna be a blast seeing those 3 in the B League. Meanwhile, Soulstorm, Checkerboard, and Midnight Sky just stay there in the C League. Just gonna fight for another chance in the B League. And that is all. We will see you in the next season of Tournament of Speed. And we are off.